Hey friends, dun, 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 dun. That's right. It's time for three things with Pastor Jared. Three things from my desk, followed by three things that are going on here at the church. First thing I want to show you. This is so cool. This is concrete and brick. And so what happened was the city said, we want your church to be safe, and we want you to sprinkle this new building that you have at 1012 Mass. And so they brought in a water line, and the guys came with an incredible tool that just took out the front wall and just cut right through the bricks and the mortar and the cinder block and all the stuff. So it's a great paperweight, and I think that thing's pretty cool. This thing here is equally as kind of crazy, and this is the shrapnel that was left over after we threw a 3-day concerts and preaching and fair in a small town. I believe this is from Osawatomie, Kansas, and we threw this big event, put up a circus tent for 500 people, and a Microburst came and flipped the circus tent over, crushing our stage, crushing everything. And within about 4 hours, our team set everything up in a high school gym. 26 people decided to follow Jesus that night, and we sang a brand new worship song, and the chorus was "No one will shut us down." And so anyway, this is some of the brand new track that they'd put down that got beat up, and these are broken pieces from the pipe. And anyway, so my buddy made that as a little memorial for that day. What else am I going to show you? Oh, this guy. This is a Cranky. This one's pretty cool. So you crank this guy here, winds down this spring, and then he kind of walks across your desk. The reason I show you this is because this is one of the only remaining things that Mandy let me keep that was on the collectible side of life after we got married. And so that was one of the few things that were still left over after she decided to, how do I say it, rid me of all my trash treasures that I had as a young bachelor some 20 years ago. All right, three things from my head coming at you after three things on my desk. We are having a meeting next week to really start to put on paper our plan as a church going forward as far as online, coming back together in person, and those sorts of things. So obviously there's been a conversation for our leadership team for quite some time, and now having the kind of phased approach printed out by our state and local leaders, and really discerning what God is saying to us as a church, to this individual church, and then just kind of the feel of how we think we can best serve you and hearing from you. So next week we'll start really putting some things down on paper, so be looking out for that. You know, I want you to know that our heart is we want to stay safe, and we know that also has to do with a safety of being together and a safety of mental health and things like that as well. And so we want the quality of service to not dip. And so we know that this affects children. What are we going to do with children? If you haven't noticed, they don't really care about your social distancing. Our building has its own layout that we have to figure out a way around, and so we're thinking through all these things, and we really want to come out of our homes and be together in a way that really makes sense. So we'll start narrowing that down and making some decisions there as a team, and then let you guys know kind of where we're at on that. But looking forward to seeing how this all plays out, and how we move ahead in faith and in wisdom. And so we'll be looking at those sorts of things. So just know that we are thinking about those sorts of things. Second thing I want to talk about is April's finances. Wow, I am blown away that in the middle of being pressed, that we are not crushed. And so I just want to thank you for so many of you having the mission of Jesus in your heart as it's expressed through our little church, and giving to it, and giving sacrificially and regularly. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a great financial month, the best financial month of the year in our church. Is just those kind of moments as a pastor, just is so encouraging that this isn't just my vision. It's just not the vision of the staff, but it's the vision of all of us who call this home. And so thanks for carrying that forward and being givers and being generous. God's using it. It's exciting to hear of your friends, your family, coming online, coming to church with you online, and then also talking to people who are being spiritually awakened. It's amazing thinking through the stories of people in Havrams and new people who are joining into Havrams from states away or even just here in our city, and some of you who've been a part of the church but not in a Havram, being that that's our main small group expression right now. It seems kind of strange to me as a pastor that in this season we're really putting our relational eggs in the Havram basket as opposed to the neighborhood church basket, and that's been something we've kicked around as leaders about the best way to do this. But ultimately, it's the kids. It's can kids maintain a neighborhood church setting on screens, and we just didn't feel like that was a thing. So if you've been wondering about that, that's kind of our thinking there, is that screens for kids, it's just a very tough reality. So thanks for being generous. Let's keep moving ahead. Want you to know, we've done all we can to limit our spending here, knowing that the finances of our country are just tough right now. And so we've been able to make some changes and slim down on some cost around here, especially since we're not coming together in this building. I think just one kind of small thing but big thing is that we were able to renegotiate our mortgage and get a 0.5% less. And so just things like that we've been able to do are really helping. All right. And then number 3, a lot of you guys have asked for yard signs. If you still would like a yard sign, it basically just says, hey, come to church with us, join us online, and then has the church website address. So we'd love for you to use those in your yards. Really, it's kind of a easy way to witness or to share the news with your neighbors and invite them to church in a way that seems pretty safe, easy. Not a lot of risk involved in it, putting it in your yard. So we'd love for you to get one and invite all your neighbors to church. And I want you to know that as we're preaching, as we're singing, as we're putting these things together, it's with your neighbor in mind as well. And so I know, it takes a risk personally to invite someone to something thinking, okay, is this going to go well for them? Is this going to be something that I'm proud of? And I just want you to know as leaders, we're thinking through those things as well. All right. Well, hey, I love you guys. Miss you. We are here at the church now. We came back on, I think Monday we came back here to this building, maybe 2 Mondays ago. It's all running together. But staff is here in the church, and so if you want to come by, if that makes sense to you, you feel safe, we are here, man. We'd love to see you. Also, for those of you who were meeting online and meeting on Zoom in different counseling sessions and things like that, thank you for being faithful to be disciples and to keep growing through this pandemic. All right. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.